here doing another little live broadcast. Today we're going to be talking about the yesterday's Pokemon Go Community Day. Let's see, and this was the Ralts one. We're also going to be talking about a few upcoming things in the channel and some recent stuff. If you have any comments about the, about what's going on with the channel and stuff like that, we'll be talking about that. But if you have any comments about the Pokemon Go Community Day, feel free to toss those into the comments. Either in the live chat if you're watching this live, or into the comments on the video. All right, so let's see. Let me just get this started. So give me a second here. We're going to, as usual, I have a little slideshow. And it takes me a moment to get this set up. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. Let's see, application window. Okay, there we go. So this was the Ralts Community Day. And this is kind of an interesting one because I guess nowadays in Pokemon Go, there's never just one thing happening. We get a bunch of stuff that all is kind of occurring somewhat simultaneously. And I think they interacted in kind of an interesting way this time around. But yeah, today was the Ralts. So the usual formula applies. You try to catch as many Ralts as you can. You're going to get a bunch of candies from those. They're going to pop up a lot more often than usual. Obviously, you're trying to look for shinies. And Ralts is a kind of as we all know, as a complicated evolutionary chain. So I'll be talking a little bit about that as well. Okay, so let's see. First off, here's the first Ralts I came across. Let's see here. Am I actually showing yes, I am showing that in a little preview there. I'm still getting a little used to this new setup. But anyway, you can see it there. One of the nice things here is since I'm plugged into a battery pack, I can afford to use AR for a lot of this stuff. To be honest, Ralts, as far as a Pokemon goes, it's kind of an odd design. It kind of looks, I'm not sure exactly if it's supposed to look kind of like an old school monk, M-O-N-K. Looks to me like it has a boomerang through its head. And, it has kind of a checkered past for me in the trading card game. Right after I quit competitive play in 2007 was kind of the infamous 07-08 season where there was a Gardevoir Gallade Dusknoir deck that really dominated the format to, I think a lot of folks feel, an unhealthy extent. Won't go too much into that today, but it's something you can look at if you want to look at a point where the Pokemon TCG was very homogenous in its metagame. That was one of them. But in any case, I wasn't going to turn this opportunity down to get some things going. Let's see. So caught a bunch of these over the course of the day, as you probably expect. Now, one other thing that was going on. Yes, absolutely. So they just started this in the last week or so. I think they had a couple false starts. But right now what they're doing is they're doing a Team Rocket sort of event where certain Pokestops will be taken over by Team Rocket grunts. They do have both male and female grunts, so I guess good on them for that. But you can sort of see one of the ones I ran into yesterday, if you take a look over there. So when you get to one of these, you go through a standard process. There are a few things I want to talk about. So you spin the Pokestop. It has the little cube that you see from a distance has this weird shaking animation that sort of clues you. And then when you get there, it turns into a Team Rocket Pokestop. So you spin it, and then the grunt will confront you. Excuse me. Basically, they will go in, and they're going to say, hey, I've been sort of hanging out here. I'm not sure if they're trying to, if Pokemon Go's trying to send a message there that you shouldn't just hang out around one Pokestop and just wait every 5 minutes. Or if these are that's just sort of their cover. I don't know. But in any case, you get to battle them in similar to the PvP, although I haven't done a ton of that. This one, I encountered two. They were all both pretty similar, but I liked that this, when you're about to battle them, they give you a little hint about what type of Pokemon they're going to use. It says normal does not mean weak. By the way, if someone from Pokemon is listening, which I seriously doubt, I think that would be a great thing to put on a T-shirt with some normal type Pokemon on there. I think that would be a a good thing to sell. I'm not sure if I ever heard that. Someone has probably said that, but obviously in Pokemon it has a certain meaning. I do kind of like that. Now you can see down there towards the bottom middle, I listed the Pokemon that I decided to use for this one. I had a Machamp, since I assumed this guy was going to be using normal type Pokemon. Obviously, fighting types are going to be strong against them. I picked in a Gengar, which I guess maybe isn't a great choice. I mean, obviously you have that sort of two-way immunity, like normal type moves do in most games. In regular games, nothing. In other games, virtually nothing to ghost types, but ghost type moves also do virtually nothing to normal type Pokemon. And then I picked up a day or two ago, I picked up from a raid a Monferno. I think it was a level 2 raid. And I just happened to pick one of those, and I thought, why not? I'll use it here if I need to. So yeah, if you're ever curious what my, I don't know if I've ever put this on there before, but my Pokemon Go screen name is Yoshi1K1. You might see me referred to as Yoshi1001 in some other contexts. Not the most creative, I guess, attire there. Sorry to say that. But in any case, you get this versus screen, and let's see, how did things work out? Yeah, that worked out pretty well, actually. Machamp was able to carry most of it. I think I might have gotten to Gengar, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And of course, you notice they've added a new badge thing you can earn. The Pokemon Go has all these badges, and actually, I'm up to 7 now on this. So I'm making some good progress there. And then at the end, after you beat the Grunt, you get to sort of Colosseum or Gale of Darkness style. Not quite. It's a little bit different because you aren't capturing them while you're battling them, but right afterwards they leave behind one of their shadow Pokemon. Got a red with some very red eyes there. Kind of disturbing, to be honest. But your goal is there to catch it and then eventually purify it. I have a Golbat, actually, that I purified from a couple days ago that I'm working on. The obviously Reddit, not exactly thrilling, although I was working on some research that required me to capture normal type Pokemon, so this at least fed into that. So yeah, definitely not the most thrilling capture, but good nonetheless. Let's see. All right, so that was sort of the thing there. And then, so yeah, I did manage to pick up 2 shiny Ralts during yesterday's community day. One of those, it's not playing in the street on the left, it's in a parking lot, but still. And then over on the right, you have another one. So those of you who haven't seen a shiny Ralts before, basically the difference you have here is the hair is a little more blue in it, is like the best way I can think to describe it. It's a little weird. Let's see there. Not too much else to say. Both of these went together fairly well. Let's see, what else we got next? So there was a level 5 raid that popped up around where I was, and whatever here on the west side of Madison, I'm guessing maybe the biggest stuff is actually downtown, or school is out of session for a few more weeks here. It's before the university students come back, but maybe on campus there's some stuff going on. But this was a level 5 raid that popped up here on the west side of town, and at first I wasn't able to. I was hoping maybe someone would show up. No one really did, so I grabbed some food. When I came out, there were a couple guys there. Looked like they were getting ready to get set up. And I asked if they were looking to do the raid there, because it looked like they were playing some Pokemon Go. So yeah, we're catching some Ralts, but hey, with a third, we might be able to pull this one off. And as you know, there's also the Rayquaza raids are coming back in. You can even get a shiny one if you're lucky. But we went through with that, and we got pretty far. However, yeah, unfortunately, we didn't quite. We got so close. It was within a couple percentage points of its health left. Very little. We thought we actually were about to get it, and we just ran out of time there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. And, being there only 3 of us, we went through a lot of Pokemon. I went through at least, I think, like 3 full sets of Pokemon there. Maybe didn't have all the best ones to work with. I do have a Regice, which on paper is a great one, except its non-charge move is fighting, which doesn't work very well against Rayquaza. It does have Blizzard, but I think I only got to do that like once. So yeah, and actually I think Rayquaza has Ancient Power, which is really good against Ice types. So hard Pokemon to take down. We almost did. If we'd had a 4th person, I bet we would have made it there, but that's okay. I mean, I also have some event research for one of the special researches that I have to do more raids. So not the worst, not a complete waste of time or anything like that. but a little disappointing. Let's see. And all right, so these were I sort of one thing that's also new in Pokemon Go that you might be aware of is that the the appraisal feature has been enhanced. Rather than just kind of having to decipher the professor or whatever guy's text there and sort of guess at how strong your Pokemon is, you actually get three little bars there. There's one for attack, one for HP, and the other one is it defense or something like that? I forget. But basically, the higher those are, and you also get a star rating from 0 to 3 stars, which is nice. Because remember, the CP, they have a maximum CP, but that's still based loosely on their stats. So basically what I did here is I found, let's see, I think the left one, or the right one, no, the right one must be the best shiny one I had of the two. It was actually had the lower CP, but had more room to grow there. And then the one on the left is the best regular Ralts I had. And as you can see, I accumulated quite a bit of Ralts candy yesterday. But I have to say that the new appraisal feature made it a lot easier to sort of thin the number of Ralts I had gotten. So I did buy one expansion on space, but I didn't have to keep doing it time and time again. It makes it a lot easier to sort of figure some of that stuff out. I know some folks will have wound up with better Ralts than me, but that's okay. So yeah, I evolved both of these to a Curlia, and then, let's see, I had to evolve both of them to a Gardevoir. I forget exactly how that's pronounced, but yeah, that's, I didn't have, you need a light stone or something like that to get a Gallade. So even though, one of those was male there, unfortunately, I was not able to get a Gallade yet. I have never gotten one of those light stones or a dust stone. Still have a ways to go to get those. I'm also need some more revives after that battle there. But they do have, you can't see it on here, unfortunately. They have the special move Synchronize, which I thought was an ability in the main series games, but maybe it works different. A lot of things work differently in Go. Some things that are normally moves or whatever, or things of that nature. But as you can kind of tell, even if you sort of extend the CP out, that the one on the left that was my best non-shiny, I decided, is getting close to 2,000 on there. I think I might power it up a little bit after this to get it around to 2,000. So that's going to be a good Pokemon. And, since it is a fairy type, if you have more of those Rayquaza raids that you go to in the future, that fairy typing will obviously be a big help there. I don't know if the more stronger attack is fairy or psychic. I think Synchronize might be a psychic move, but that'll give you some good defensive abilities there. Unlike in the main series games, Gardevoir a fairy type isn't completely immune to Dragon, but it takes very little damage from that. But overall, pretty happy with what I got there. I still have a decent amount of Ralts candy. Ralts is not a super rare Pokemon to find out there, but having this opportunity, I really enjoyed. So let's see, I think that's the last slide. Yes, it is. All right. And let's see, does it come back here? Yes, all right. Excuse me. So, yeah, that was most of what I had to say about Community Day. I rather enjoyed it. Learned I don't know if learned is the right word there, but definitely enjoyed my time there. If you have any comments, please give us one on the either in the chat or on the comments on this video. Did you get anything good? I know someone got the one, I guess, bad thing about Gallade is I guess it sort of incentivizes getting a male Ralts, because male Ralts can still evolve into both, but a female one can't. It's just how it is. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, you give us that. At this point, this is not going to be a super long stream, but I do want to give some updates on what's been happening on the channel and what will be happening on the channel. So, I am still waiting for the Detective Pikachu 2LP set to come in. I may have to put in a question to the seller I bought it from. This was not on eBay, although you can get them on there. This is the score to the Detective Pikachu movie that they released on vinyl in Europe. Is about 2,500 total. Have not gotten that in yet. Hopefully it does come soon. It is being shipped from like Germany, so it's not like I expect it overnight or anything like that. But I hope to do an unboxing video and have that up next weekend, assuming that's all still coming along. As far as recently produced, you may remember last weekend I produced a Why It Works video on Don't Say You Love Me by M2M. Gotten some pretty good feedback on that one. If you have any thoughts, this Why It Works series is generally for things that did not start as a Pokemon song, but were later repurposed as such. Don't Say You Love Me was minorly rewritten to remove a kissing reference for the first movie soundtrack. For what that's worth, but still started very much externally as a song. And I sort of talk about why it's not so much designed to sort of move in lockstep with the movie plot-wise. It's more of a bridge to sort of the more casual music audience and vice versa. So it doesn't tie in, even as much as some other songs, obviously, that were directly written for the movies, but does have some interesting connections, including one that I'm sure was not the only reason they got picked, but the band name matches up well in a kind of a strange way. I can't believe that no one at the record label noticed that. But like I said, it's not the only reason they got picked. All right, so looking forward again, let's see. So later this month, 2 weeks from this weekend, is the Pokemon World Championships in DC. I'm going to be doing my usual thing there. I'm going to play in some of the side events and go to things like that. Also excited, of course, because my sister lives on the Virginia side of DC, and my mom is actually coming over there. We're all going to meet. We're going to have an extra day before to sort of talk to each other about that kind of stuff. Let's see. I did get an email from the Pokemon, from their press agency, telling me that I guess they're going to do something called like the Pokemon Go Invitational or something, or if someone's going to get randomly selected to battle in some sort of Pokemon Go. You think they would have done that in 2016, but I think for that world they were just so overwhelmed. But you think they would have gotten into it by 2017 or something like that. I think PvP was a thing by then, maybe not. Definitely by last year it was. But anyway, they're doing this, someone's going to get randomly drawn along with a few other things to do this thing. So I'm not sure what that's going to be all about or how big a deal. I guess it might be like when they showed off Pokken Tournament back in 2015. This was the Boston World, you may remember. I happened to just pick out this shirt for today with the, probably Captain Pikachu or whatever, but I always like to pretend it's like a pirate. I need to find a little eye patch to go on the plush I have from that year. But that's going on there. And then the weekend after Worlds is probably when we're going to have, I'm going to have my discussion with Anne from the podcast about the music of Pokemon Pinball. So just to refresh, Pokemon Pinball, that was, of course, a pinball game for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. It's one of those dual cartridges. Part of the reason we're having it a little bit later is Anne is having a little bit of trouble tracking down a cartridge. As I mentioned during our Hoopa discussion a few weeks ago, Pokemon Pinball is conspicuously absent from the 3DS Virtual Console, and I suspect slightly that some of the music there may be as part of the reason for that. But that's sort of our plan. We're going to discuss, obviously, about that. I also am looking at the possibility of figuring out a way to do a live stream of the game for a little bit sometime in the next few weeks leading up to that. So that'll be another opportunity if you can't make it, say, to our live discussion in a couple weeks, presumably. You'll be able to get your thoughts in that way. But yeah, like I said, give that game a shot. If you have any comments on the music of Pokemon Pinball, you can also put them right here on this video. We definitely appreciate that. But otherwise, I kind of wanted to keep it to that. But all right, folks, thanks.